I'm sat inside a new car, a Seat Leon, and it's a car that I would never go out of my way looking to drive, but it's come along for me to drive, and I'm not going to say no. It's basically a Mark 8 Golf. I don't think the interior is the same as a Mark 8 Golf, but it should be just as well made. Just like any new car, really. It's just full of electrical bits everywhere. Most cars just kind of get in and drive. This one seems a bit more like the kind of thing where you need an instruction booklet just to find out how to open the door. But, oh no, I managed it! Look, that bit's normal. Right, watch. Look at that. I don't know currently whether I'm going to like this car or dislike this car. But what I will say is it's rather angular everywhere. It reminds me of a Mazda actually. The front end is somewhat Mazda-esque with its big sort of sticky up front face and its squinty eyes like that. Look at it, look at that. It's looking at you, it's doing this. That's how I'm going to know this car now. Not the Seat Leon, but the Seat. Yeah? But I mean, it does have some sort of style to it. These swooping lines do look rather good actually, and the wrap-around rear lamp. And look, there's a hub nut sticker in the back. That's kind of inappropriate. He wouldn't like seeing his sticker in the back of there, would he? So anyway, I'm going to give it my appraisal with its looks and say, yeah, it looks alright actually. It's a reasonably good looking car. Right, what else? Bonnet. There it is, yep. No gas strut, which is rather surprising, but lots of rather dangerous orange cables. And we know where that is, don't we? Yes, yes we do. This car is a plug-in hybrid. It's got a 1.4 litre petrol turbo and some big batteries underneath. So the 1.4 produces quite a bit of power with its turbo engine, but then the batteries produce a bit just to assist it. And I'm going to try it out in a minute. It is worthwhile sitting in the back of the car when you... Richard, the owner of this car, says it's not bad for rear space, and it's not bad. It's better than the Rover 75, which it is. Come to think of it, most things are. Door shut sounds very Volkswagen-like. Same with this one. Yeah, the sharp angular lines continue on the inside, as we can see there. Sharp bits everywhere, and then soft bits. The seat is actually comfortable, which I wasn't expecting. As this is a German-derived car, I was expecting to get in and thinking the best thing you can do is have yourself a paving slab to make the seat more comfortable. As you'd expect from a modern plug-in hybrid car, everything's kind of automatic. The gearbox is automatic, the headlamps are automatic. No doubt the windscreen wipers will be automatic. There, that's just come on, and then it's just gone back off again as well. If I put my foot on the brake, will something happen? No, if I put my foot on the brake and press that, something will happen. Everything comes on. The whole dash comes on. It starts bonging at me. It's ready to go to work. It wants to do some things. It wants to recommend that I listen to Deep Purple. I like the steering wheel. I like the flat bottom on it, which, you know, I always make fun of that. I do. Why does a steering wheel need a flat bottom? Well, it doesn't, but it kind of looks cool, doesn't it? The dashboard has all come on. The heating's gone up to 20 degrees. It's set at 20 degrees, so it's already doing that for me. The vents are probably deciding where the air should be going, which is nice. It's basically a car made so you don't have to do a great deal of thinking for yourself. And will it drive in such a fashion? I must say the interior quality is all very nice actually. It's clearly plastic. I mean, imagine if that was real aluminium, that would be a strange one. These vents remind me of the headlamps on old American cars, and this center console thing, actually this does feel ever so slightly wobbly. This is the gear lever, this little stubby thing there, as you can, I could put it in reverse there and it will activate the parking sensors and all of the other things. Probably, well, if I just Yep, yeah, straight away it's telling me, you know, to look out for the yellow bit. Although I'm going to use my mirrors for that. Pull it down a bit. Oh, that's parking brake, isn't it? Yep, parking brake on. Parking brake off. Reverse. And drive. And then you pull it down. So there, that S on the dashboard, so it's in sport mode. So, eco mode, I pull it down again, back to sport, back to eco. Now, you know, obviously I'm going to drive in eco because I'm sensible. The engine is on, so to speak. The wiper went on by itself then. And there we go, I'm moving. This means you can hear clonks and rattles from the suspension. And off we go. Silently rolling down the hill. Almost like that is all it's doing, it's just rolling. It's in purely electric mode here at the moment. I think it is anyway. It's difficult to tell, but put my foot down and it actually goes, it picks up quite nicely. In fact, it picks up like a normal petrol car would do. What I don't think it can do is have just petrol. I don't think you can just use petrol alone. You have to use the electric motor as well, which I don't know. Yeah. They must know what they're doing. That's the assumption anyway. This is where it's particularly useful to have an electric car, because I can sit here at the lights without chuffing out any exhaust fume. And honestly, I don't particularly like that. Sitting, tick over, especially diesels. Diesels are just kind of horrible, aren't they? You can smell them. Yuck. Horrible diesel. There we go. And off again. Purely electric mode. Very quiet. Very civilised. Not particularly exciting. Indicator. Good, that works. That's on the right side. That was nice and easy to do. Pedestrians here not paying any attention whatsoever to there being a car coming across, which is the way things are these days. Honestly, if you're a pedestrian, you don't need to worry about things like that anymore. Somebody will be looking out for you. And that is very typical of the way cars are and the way people are. Everything is done for you. So even crossing the road, you should be, well, no, you don't need to look. Somebody else can look for you. Sounds like I'm having a bit of a go there, but it does seem appropriate for a video about a car that basically makes sure you've got a shepherd's pie in the oven when you get home. This is the point where I may as well see if it's got a bit of oomph, because obviously just electric alone it's not going to have. So now I've just put it into sports mode, and we'll see how well it goes up the dual carriageway. Obviously I won't be breaking any speed limits. Can we hear the engine? Yes, I can see the engine now. And better try that again. Let's come around the roundabout. What we need to talk about as well is how this car handles, and it's very flat actually. It's very flat and smooth and quite good. Yeah, very good actually. Put foot down. That's very good actually. Yes, that picked up to 40 very well there indeed. Impressive. Yeah, 1.4 engine. It doesn't feel like, it feels like something much more substantial. I'll just do that again, okay? And we're doing yes, that was good. Apparently this has got combined 204 brake horsepower, which is plenty for what is a small car. But I will say, I mean, it's pretty quick, but it's not like neck-hurtingly quick. It's enough. And to be honest, actually, I'm happy just to switch it back into eco mode now. It doesn't look like an automatic car, and it doesn't feel like one. And it does, because I'm having to change gear. One thing I'll say is that the doors are quite high up, so if you want to do your Capri suntan, you're going to struggle because it's too high up. You drive around like that everywhere. Yeah. That's not how you drive. That looks like the cockney knees up. You're doing your cockney knees up in your Seat. I've just put it back into electric only. I think it's in electric only. Yes, it is, because the rev counter's not doing anything. And I think the majority of that power actually comes from the motor rather than the engine. Although I believe the engine alone has over 140 brake. But one question I've got to anyone who's got one of these, or anyone that knows anything about them, is usually with a petrol engine you've got to be careful with the turbo. You've got to look after it, and that's why when you see older turbo cars, the owner of that car will usually let the thing idle for a while before switching it off, to let the oil cool down, to let the bearings take advantage of some slightly cooler oil, because it can damage the turbo, and that's where they end up smoking badly. What about this? If you just switch the engine off whilst you're driving along, surely that's not going to do the turbo much good. Interesting. Not necessarily fascinating. This is where I do my conclusion. This is where I tell you whether I like it, whether I'd like to buy one, whether I'd have one if it was given to me, etc. And to me it does feel very much like a Volkswagen, and there's a good reason for that, because it kind of is one, isn't it? It's just basically a Volkswagen with a Spanish face. But what do I think of it? Well, I will say that I like it, but more than that, I respect it. I see the appeal. I can see why somebody would buy a car like this as an everyday car, because apparently its fuel economy is pretty amazing. Plus, to charge it costs, during the night time, it works out something like 70 pence for 40 miles, which takes you back to the days of around probably 2000, when we could all afford to run cars. It's got everything going for it, hasn't it? Yeah, it's not bad looking, it drives well. I'd say it changes gear nicely, but it doesn't need to do. And yeah, it's just pretty good. But just one thing, at no point driving this did I find myself feeling really happy and smiley. It is, I'm afraid, although it's a good car, it's just a car. It doesn't have any sense of excitement, except for when you're going a bit quickly, and you'll get fed up with that. Maybe you won't. So, brand new Seat Leon petrol hybrid, plug-in hybrid thing. It's good. It ticks all of the boxes except for that one box that makes me do this or this, but it does tick the one that makes me go.